Alright guys, this is it. Welcome to the final episode of A Quest for the Lost. This is it. This is the last week of the season. This is where we get our answers. Do we free Savathun of her worm? Do we get Osiris back? What's going to happen to Crow? There's so many threads to tie up this last week. And let's go ahead and get started. Ooh, nervous is an understatement. I need to know what happens.
When I first saw Crow, I looked into his mind. I did not see my brother's memories. Savathun dredged them from a place beyond my grasp when she revealed his past life to him. She suspects I do not mean to let her live once the separation ritual is complete, and is testing our patience. Perhaps she means only to hurt me. The risk of her cunning is too great, no matter her intentions. Until the conditions are right for us to exorcise her worm, I am restricting all access to Savathun. I will, however, afford you one last meeting to conclude your investigations before I seal her away. Steel your mind when you face her, Guardian. The Witch Queen is no less dangerous now than she has ever been. We have one last Techeun to locate. Go forth.
When I first saw Crow, I looked into his mind. I did not see my brother's memories. Mara Sov says, frustration barely audible in her voice. While she doesn't know how Savathun managed this, she fears what other manipulations the Witch Queen could attempt. Mara says she will afford you one last audience with Savathun to ask any lingering questions you might have, but imports upon you not to fall to the Witch Queen's deceptions. She says we are close now. Only one more Techeun is required to exorcise Savathun's worm. Form an astral alignment within the blind well. Okay. Oh, I'm nervous. Oh, there's so much crap that could go wrong. There is so much crap that could go wrong. One last time. One last astral alignment. One last shattered realm. One last audience with Savathun. Let's get started. Alright, here we go.
I doubt Xivu Arath knows what Queen Mara is planning, but she knows that every day it grows nearer. She'll redouble her efforts, I'm sure. And with Crow gone, we're more vulnerable than before.
Alright, it's interesting. So they've given us some new dialogue options now, now that they're admitting, Crow's gone and everything that happened with that. But it's weird, as much as she talked smack about him and to him, how she's like, okay, now that he's gone, we're worse off now. Alright. We're nearing the next part. My heart is like in my chest right now. I am so nervous. Dealing directly with Savathun like this is not something I'm very keen on doing, and who knows what could happen.
The coming attack could destabilize the Blind Well's energy regulation system. If we lose the regulators, there's no telling how the Blind Well will react, or how Xivu Arath will take advantage.
And it's really interesting to note also, once we get the final blow of whatever plot twist is happening,
eliminating enemies is secondary to protecting our battery carriers.
Once we get the reveal of whatever bombshell Bungie's about to drop on us, we have to sit on that for about another 4 months, because we still have the 30th anniversary, and we still have Festival of the Lost, which is coming up next month. I may do a couple videos on that, I'm not entirely sure. The Festival of the Lost really doesn't normally have a story to it. It's just your holiday, seasonal holiday. And so you don't really get too much that you can do when it comes to that, Jimmy. When it comes to content, but I'll still do a couple videos just to kind of show the experience. I love Festival of the Lost. It's my favorite. Granted, Halloween is my favorite holiday. And if things go the way I'm hoping they will, I should have a good Halloween special planned in store. And so, but whatever bombshell they drop on us, if it doesn't tie into the 30th anniversary, we have to wait until Witch Queen. I don't like the fact that this needs to be that. There we go. Okay, there we go. But it's, oh my god. Frightened is an understatement. Because there's so many questions. What's going on with Osiris? Crow's currently working with Keitel. Keitel wants to nuke the Dreaming City. Is he going to encourage that? He wants to go to a place where his choices are his own. And will he become the new Hunter Vanguard? Is he going to try and go after Savathun? God, there's so many things that could happen. There's been a little theory going on, and I'm saying this now as a theory, not as a for sure this is happening. But I can't help but wonder. So there's this theory that's been going around that, spoiler alert, I'm not alerting a spoil, it's the name of a sidearm in this game. Spoiler alert. So, spoiler alert, when it first came out was just before Forsaken came out and Cade was killed. So some people are starting to theorize that because spoiler alert has come out again, someone else is going to die. That's the thought that's going on amongst the community and some of the developers, and I shouldn't say some of the developers, but some of the community. We'll leave it that way. But the thing that has me scared is the one that makes the most sense right now is Osiris. That it's him, that he's really dead, and I don't want him to, because Osiris is my favorite guardian. Well, he's not a guardian anymore, but one of my favorite characters just in this game. I really like Osiris, so I don't want him to go. And if not Osiris, then who? If someone dies. I have a hard time. Note I say this, I'm going to be dead wrong. I have a hard time picturing them killing someone off just as like a big plot.
Operational and paracausal energy readings are nominal. Good work, Guardian.
Paracausal readings are nominal. Do. Right. But I have a hard time believing that they would just kill someone off as...
Perhaps it is fortunate that Crow has spread his wings. I do not know how he'd respond to the scorn after what Savathun has shown him.
Agreed. He needs time to come to terms with Uldren's involvement in their creation.
It's interesting how they talk about him as two separate people now. Now you really get more of that to the forefront.
That gives life. Let its destruction bring death to the scorn.
I have a hard time believing that they would just kill someone off as a, like, plot twist for... as a plot twist for the end of a season, because then there's nothing to do but sit on it. I mean, it might make sense with Festival of the Lost coming in, and it's supposed to be like a memorial service for dead guardians. Granted, if they're going to do that, then more than likely we're going to get that whoever died brought straight to the forefront. I just want Satan Osiris to be happy for a change. The next season needs to be beach themed so they can go on vacation. Okay. There's a lot of screeds. Every time I say screebs, I just want to say it in an Irish or Scottish accent. It's a lot of freaking screebs! Right. Oh geez, that's a lot. Can you not, please? Thank you. Die. I don't think I've used my super yet, like, at all. Okay. That's another Guardian that I'm shooting. Okay, come on. Nope. We are a long ways away from getting that final push. I hope the ether doesn't like take away our progress. Come on. That actually gave us a lot more progress than I thought it would. Come on. I love hitting him with a solar weapon after freezing him. It's like quite literally giving him freezer burn. Ha! I can still freeze you while you're invisible. Prick. It's funny, so many people hate on the ice wall, but it has like such potential. That, and most of the time I help my friends who aren't that good at platforming by just building them an extra platform to jump on. Alright, here we go. Final boss.
Well played, Guardian. I'm sure Crow wishes he could share in this victory. If that were true, he'd be here right now.
Petra, lay off. Like, seriously, I think he's been through enough.
My Corsairs report increased
Okay,
Techeun
who we got
activity.
this time?
Retrieve the compass and assume defensive positions.
How is that not a crit? Thank you. Good God, that's a lot of health we just took out. Okay. I need like a bunch of you gathered together. Can you just like all humble together for me, like right here? That would be great. Thank you so much. Just let me show you my cool ice staff. Oh yeah, that's right. We actually have an objective at this point. I'm gonna die. Oh, good God, I went flying. Thank you. Okay, is there a second one? Yes, there is, up here. Kind of just help them take this thing out. Because if we can get two of them taken on here, then that pretty much assures that... Hold on. Do you mind? Okay, I guess someone got the shields. Oh, good God! That was so fast!
Wherever Crow is, I hope he knows there are people here who care about him.
As I told you before, now is not the time for this conversation.
I know, Mara. All the same, it's a sentiment I want to state clearly on open comms channels, for anyone who might be monitoring them. Beep boop.
No games. If he wants to have a conversation, he knows where to find me.
I love Glenn's little add-on right there. Alright, so now we just have to collect Parallax Trajectory, which we can do by doing strike missions. And I don't have nearly enough from doing this one as I normally do. So I guess we're just going to be just a second. As soon as we're done with that, then it's on to the Shattered Realm. There we go. Into the
Location
Shattered
secured,
Realm via the
Commander
Helm
Zavala.
map.
Good
And
work,
then rescue
Commander.
her. Alright, we're doing
What
the
intel
Forest
did
of
you
Echoes one more time.
There's only one data artifact here, labeled Oxa, and it's seriously corrupted. Metadata says it was last
God,
accessed
the closer
by an
we get
Otzot
to this,
centuries
the more
ago.
nervous I get.
What is Oxa? And who is Otzot?
Okay.
Load.
Your trespass beyond the veil brings you closer to victory. Both mine and yours.
Okay. What do we got here? Should be the same as before. I can't. Ooh. I am terrified. For the first time, the ending of a season has me scared. Like, I was very excited to see the finale for the past couple seasons. I still love the Proving Ground strike. I really do. I wish they would make, like, a strike mission for all the, like, seasonal activities, because, you know, now that even when this next season comes and Season of the Chosen, or even when the battlegrounds move on and we no longer have those available, we still have that strike mission, which still has the mechanics in it. Now, it gets a little more difficult when it comes to, like, the seasonal activities for Season of the Lost.
You're making
and
good progress. I believe that's another beacon ahead.
It becomes a little more complicated with activities for Season of the Lost and Season of the Splicer, because those are specifically 6-man activities. So then you'd have to find a way to dumb them down to 3-man activities, which for Season of the Splicer really wouldn't be too hard to do. That one was fairly easy in comparison to Season of the Lost's activity being a 6-person activity.
Be ready.
So you have to find a way to convert those to a 3-person activity, so this way they can be formatted like a strike mission. Which I don't think would be too hard to do. Granted, I say that and I have no idea how any of this works. I say as I mow down people with an ice laser beam. Maybe I just need to go watch, like, Batman and Robin and get all the puns that Arnold Schwarzenegger did as Mr. Freeze. Listen, that was a bold casting choice, but it was beautiful nonetheless. Now, Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy, that one was great. Danny DeVito as the Penguin, phenomenal. I was interested whenever I heard that Nicolas Cage was going to be Superman in that series. Like, that's odd. Because the weird thing is, you know, Nicolas Cage actually does really good work whenever he plays a serious role. Like, his work in National Treasure, phenomenal. He's a great actor, but then, oh, good God. Do you mind? I'm rambling about Nicolas Cage. Now, some of his, like, other works where he kind of goes a little weird, like in Ghost Rider, is odd. In the dome. Don't you hide from me. Get your butt back here. Thank you. There we go. There's one down. We draw ever closer to Savathun's plan. Ah, I'm nervous. Oh, I'm nervous. Savathun, what are you doing? Just let the Birdman go. I'm mainly nervous about Osiris. Just because I want Osiris to be okay.
The Techeun infest every corner of the Ascendant Plane I've seen. Like the tendrils of some great fungus. Ever spreading.
You know, I probably would do a lot better with this weapon if I could aim it. But you see, my aim is crappy. Day. I'm not using a linear fusion rifle on these guys, come on. I could just come up and punch you. Who needs to reload when you can just punch? Punch. Okay. I am... Because you know it's got to be big. Like, this is the last one. This is the last season before DLC. Like, the season of Arrivals, the ending where you watch Eris, like, start taking on the darkness is... Like, something big is going to happen. And we are right on the precipice of a reveal.
Beacon aligned. They'll have felt that. Be ready.
Okay. After this, it's just one more boss fight, and then we're done. On the one hand, I'm also really sad to see it go, because, you know, this season is where I started. Destiny is by far one of my favorite games, if not my favorite game. I really started playing it real heavy on PlayStation not too long ago, and now after Season of Arrivals, I saw what the seasonal content could be, and I started taking it a lot more seriously. And now I play it practically all the time. And whenever I started doing content and I wanted to make content on YouTube, my first thought was trying to figure out a way to make Destiny a game where you could do content with. And you see some of my initial plans with A Quest for Ambition, and then I got really lucky and decided to try and do Destiny content whenever the season came out. So I said, oh great, perfect timing. And it's bittersweet to see this end, but I look forward to seeing what Bungie has in store next and how I can best bring that to you all. Excitement, determination, fear. I am very much afraid of what is going to happen. But at the same time, excitement for it. You know, our Guardian is very much a passenger in this story of what's going on in Destiny. Like, there's not much that we do that affects the story other than fight and kill the things that the Vanguard points their finger at. Okay, I think that puts me at 100. Here we go. One more boss fight. And then it's off to see Savathun one last time. Unless they don't expunge the worm now, and they do it later on, like at the end, like, you know how they, at the end of Season of the Splicer, whenever they had the attack on the city, they waited until after after the Guardian games to do it. So they could potentially do the exact same thing.
Zivo Aroth's forces are converging on the area.
and just seal us away from Techeun. Okay, hang on. Eventually, do y'all mind just freeze for a second? Die. Okay, I just got to get this shot off. Where'd she go? Techeun, could you not do that? That would be great. Okay, there's way too many of you that I don't want to deal with right now, so I'm just gonna pop. That was quick. Good God, so was my health dropping. Jeez. Come on. There we go. And then that other one's just gonna hide back there. Okay, come on. How are you still shielded? What's going on? You should not be dead, Jim. How many of you friggin'... Okay, come on. There we go. Just one more good shot. There we go. All right. That's it. This is the last Techeun.
Excellent work, Guardian. We couldn't have done it without you. Petra, how many of your Techeuns are stranded in the Ascendant Plane? I sent 13 to bring Queen Mara back to us. Others left to rescue those that never returned. It's doubtful they all survived. Zivua Roth saw to that. She meant to strand you and bleed you out. Not while I'm here. The Awoken have been bleeding for a long time, Ikora. Why do you think I opened the shore to you?
All right. Okay. We have to meet with Petra, and this is it. This is where we end it all.
Preparations for Savathun's exorcism are underway, but the ritual can't begin without a cosmic alignment. It will take time. I want to express my gratitude for saving our new coven of Techeuns. They are young, with many years left to train. You've preserved their potential. Thank you. I tried to do the same for Crow, even if it pains my queen to see him leave. It's hard to imagine there's a safer place for him than at her side, but this is for the best. You saw what Savathun did to him. She could do more. Prince Uldren and I were friends once, you know. In our own strange way. I still think about him all the time. The sound of that gunshot. He's free now. To find his way between the stars. If only we could all be so lucky.
The Wayfinder's compass isn't there. Preparations for the exorcism ritual are underway. The Techeuns guide ley lines into positions to oust Savathun's worm. It is a process that will take considerable amount of will and time. But Revenge thanks you for rescuing her queen's Techeuns. You've preserved their potential, she says, with a holographic smile. She hopes the same has been done for Crow in restricting his access to Savathun. She remembers all too well what the Witch Queen did to him. Alright, so it's looking like I said before, They're not going to exercise the worm at the end of the season. But they're going to probably do it just before Witch Queen. Alright, so we have the full guide of Techeuns. And one last conversation with the Hive God of Deception.
I've been keeping tabs on you. Your victories against my sister. The mess you've made of the Ascendant Plane while you rescued your third-string witches. Delightful to see so many working towards a common goal, isn't it? I'm glad I can again be the catalyst that brings humanity and the reef together. It's a pity Mara Sov doesn't see it that way. Her face is a perfect porcelain mask. But look behind her eyes, and you can see the incandescent rage burning within. She's very upset with me. This will be our last talk until the day of the ritual, O Guardian Mind. Now that Mara Sov's coven is assembled, the only thing left to do is to keep Xivu Arath from ruining things while the ley lines fall into position. This may take some time, but I have waited millennia to be free. I can hold out for just a little bit longer. Farewell. For now.
Ooh, I don't like that farewell for now. Ooh. So they're not going to do it today. Okay, so we're not going to get to see Osiris. Soon, though. And we have one last message from Mara Sov. Mara Sov tells you that the time is nigh for the exorcism of Savathun's worm. Her Techeuns, the wayward ones you rescued from the ley lines, are ready to perform the ritual. It will strip her of her power, leaving her significantly weakened, she says, with pointed ambition tinging her voice. You get the sense that Mara Sov does not intend to let such an opportunity go to waste. Lastly, she tells you that Xivu Arath will not simply let her sister be separated from her worm. The Queen of the Reef calls on your light to defend the ritual and see this through to the end. She says Saint Fontaine is already en route to await Osiris's return. What's this? Ooh, pretty. Alright. Wayfinder's Voyage, quest complete. Seeker of the Lost. Let's see if there's any last radio transmissions before we go.
Petra? Miss Venge? Can you hear me?
What do you need?
Well, do you know, what Savathun showed Crow? You won't tell me.
The truth, I imagine. Or perhaps some shade of it. My queen is furious.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. For a lot of things, but mostly for Crow. Being Crow.
It's not your fault.
I could have told him.
So could I.
It's not the same.
No. I suppose it isn't.
How long did it take Mara to forgive you? For what happened to him?
To Aldrin? Be patient, little light. He'll come around.
How do you know?
Because Aldrin was always a fool for love. And your Crow loves you.
So that was it. That was Season of the Lost. Now with all the Techeuns found and the ritual to begin, we set ourselves up for Witch Queen. I'm very much looking forward to it. This series is very much a dream come true. I've wanted a long time to be able to make this kind of content, to be able to do stuff like this. It's very much been a very long dream, that I've had and attempted multiple times, and never to this scale, to this quality, to this potential. And I look forward to what the future has in store. And I'm very happy to see that it's made with this. And it's made like this. And it's this fun to do it. And saying goodbye to this series for just a little bit. Depending on how well Festival of the Lost goes, depending on how well the 30th anniversary goes, there's always more. Destiny is not something that's going to be going away anytime soon, but saying goodbye to this chapter of the journey, to this quest, is very bittersweet. And I thank you, truly, for joining me along this ride. I think at time of recording this, I get on average about 5 to 10 views a video. Some of them only averaging about 10 minutes of 40-minute videos, and I want you to know that doesn't bother me. Because if I stand on my soapbox and try and pursue my dream, and I have 5 to 10 people who want to take that journey along with me, then that makes it worthwhile. That makes it worth trying to take another step, because I know even if there's just 5 people, even if there's just one person, that the content I've made has been able to attract an audience. And that makes it mean something. You make it mean something. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining me on this quest. Come see me again. Make sure you go the way the crow flies.